Hello, everybody, and today we're just doing a quick little guide on Merge Force. Merge Force is a game on StarCraft 2, which was pretty popular seeing as how old the game is. But we're just going to go right into it. We're doing this on regular mode. There are two modes, seasonal and regular, and we're doing it on a low difficulty. We're doing it on Endless 300, just so there's time to talk. Yeah, the rewards are pretty low for someone that's played on like the 400s and 500s, but if you're watching this, you might be a new player, and to these, they might look really good. So I'm just going to go over a few different things from builds to clearing. So with anything you want to build, if you're doing it solo, you're going to want a solo build. If you're doing it in a group, you're going to want a group that, or a build that encompasses your entire role. For example, if I was sniping for a team, I have a sniper build here set up. As you can see, got the relics laid out. I'm not as focused on my armor or health because this build would be done in a group, where this is my solo build and its armor, health, everything is pretty high up there, and it's more across the entire spectrum for what I have. We're going to be using this for just a video today because I'm assuming if you need help, you're probably trying solos. If you're a multiplayer, you could just ask people, and I'm sure that they'd be happy to help. We don't have all upstanding people in the community, but we do have some pretty good people. So you know, everyone's got their goods and their bads, and like everyone, we got our goods and our bads. But we have an overall amazing community, and if you're getting into this, you're gonna love it. So once you've gone through and you've decided on what kind of relic builds and stuff you want to have. For solo, the best player in the game currently, Kami Maple, uses this selection basically. And yeah, and then you just adjust your Paragon or perk points depending on how you need it. So next we're going to get into the steps for clearing. So you're not going to have this much money, so we're going to assume that you start with enough for 5 snipers. So I always come up this way. I clear up here. Now, keep in mind, if you're not going this fast, don't worry about it. I am a bit too overpowered for this difficulty, and depending on what difficulty you are doing, you most likely won't be. And that's okay. Progression takes time, just have fun and push forward at your own pace. Now, to give you some context of why I'm clearing the lanes in the order that I am, let me just give an example. So when you first start out, this lane right here is going to be your deadliest at the start because of all these turns and that. A Hydra could get here while you're sniping there, and you could pick off one of your few snipers, or they could get there when you're trying to get through there. So you want the least amount of damage for your first starting center lane. Then you push up here. Here's not hard. And then you're going to push your bottom. And your bottom, you're going to push all the way until you can't anymore. And I'll show you why that's going to be in just a sec. Yeah, see, we're blocked off. And the reason we want to do that is we actually want to throw a defender up here in this corner. Again, I don't need it because I'm pushing such a low difficulty. But if you're trying to do any really hard difficulties and you're trying to push, you're going to probably need it. Now, if you're playing seasonal, you're not going to have that much trouble because seasonal is pretty easy compared to the actual regular thing. Like pushing like the 400s, the 500s was like pushing like the 250s, 300s, and regulars. And I think it's probably about the same amount of skill level that is being consumed in that. So if you're a player that like you're struggling in that, uh, and you can't advance in regular, especially because there's so few people playing it right now, then take a look at seasons. It's not very hard, and you can progress pretty quickly, and that could help you get a start on your actual regular build tail. Just make sure you play at least one game of regular, or yeah, just play at least one game of regular, even if you fail, just so you can have a bank so that all your seasonal stuff can go over to. Now, in this, I'm not going to be upping my units unless I absolutely have to. It's going to be on you to decide the pacing that you need to upgrade your units, because depending on the difficulty that you push, maybe you just need assassins to clear the 9 essence, or if you're pushing really hard like the 500s, you might need to be upping every time you come back with the 3 essence. It's really hard for me to incorporate that into this, and I just wanted to do a quick video just to help out the community if people need help. All right. So now, back at base. And what we're doing here, we're going to do the same thing up here as we did down there, and we're just going to put a defender up here in the corner. Now that we got him, we're going to just push. Okay, so now that we've pushed this far, you'll notice that that's open, and you can see the essence. Now, this is all about timing on higher difficulties. You want to wait till the wave's gone, and just peek in, grab it. You'll most likely use your defender, and it'll die. That's no problem. It's just there to get the essence. And same with over here. Just grab the essence. Timing is going to be everything. And you're going to also have to be going back and forth between this, because you might end up losing snipers if you're too focused on that and your units can't push back the wave. Anyways, and then we're going to push up through here. Quite nice. Going to push into here. Now I'm going to leave this last pool right there. I'm also going to leave that tower, but it doesn't matter that much. I'm head back, and I'm going to put you guys right here. I'm gonna, yeah. And we're going to come back down here. And we're going to talk about all of this at the end. I just wanted to make sure that you get all the clearing and stuff visualized first. You can take in that kind of information. And at the end, we're going to talk about the very boring stuff, the thing that the least amount of players are going to want to actually know. So we're going to leave the last pool there too. Now we're gonna come up through here. Now this place you'll take heavy losses, generally speaking. Now, before we destroy the last pool here, what I normally do is I get a well, he actually costs more than that. Now keep in mind that because I'm rushing this and that, well, not rushing, but I'm going so fast that I'm doing things you wouldn't normally do. Like you would have your bomber built before you actually pushed up into this thing to do this. So now you have that. You have your bomber done. What you're gonna do is you're gonna come up here, clear that. You're gonna put him in the corner. You're gonna push back through here. And as these towers are going down, your bomber is going to shred all the units that are coming through from the spawn in there to limit the amount that's hitting your snipers. You're going to go there. You're going to wait in between the waves. You're going to grab that essence. You're going to fall back. And now comes to the part where it's going to be tough. So, yeah. So you're going to need, depending on the difficulty, you're most likely going to need 2 tanks. And you're going to need 4 medics. I'm not going to actually spend the money on it. Now, you're going to need 2 bombers. The ones like this, not like this, but for argument's sake, or just for the video's sake, we're all going to pretend that this is all max stuff we went and leveled. Now, we're just going to push up. If you struggle, you can use your minus or plus keys in solo to lower and increase your speed. And you're just going to push up like this. Easy, nothing to it. But since we can, I'm going to have my stuff just rush up ahead so we can get to the part that matters. You're gonna want to push in between waves. You're gonna want to go forward. So now we get to this part. So this part, I always like to do this. Make sure you keep them on hold. I'll keep these guys there, or probably about there, so they're only taking 2 towers at a time, and they'll burn down these towers. And then I'll kill these 4 off, which I'm not going to spend the time to do right now. Well, I guess it only took a sec. Then we get into this part. Make sure your medics are on the right thing. If you're doing this on a high difficulty, you have to be ready to use Divine Shield, because if you don't, you'll end up losing units. Now, if you're on a high difficulty, what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to make sure your bombers are not in harm's way, and you're just going to want to inch in, take in the towers little by little. Don't let yourself get over complacent or push too fast, because that's when you take losses, and you'll push through. Now, we're just going to progress slowly like we would, but we progress a lot slower in the higher difficulty. We'll put a bomber there. We'll inch forward some more. Well, if we took that many towers on in an actual game, we'd be dead. There's the first mini boss. He comes in. Normally what'll happen is he'll come in, he'll attack your tanks right here, and the bomber that's over here will shoot it. But if you're worried about damage, you can always throw down your bomber's ability right there, and it will slow the things coming. So then you just continue to inch forward, inch forward. Yeah, that's no problem. And now you're getting the gist of it. So when you get into this part, there's an extra thing. You're going to want to bring this guy back over to help support before you kill the last one of these. And then you're going to kill it, and then the waves are going to come, and you're going to want to leave a bomber up here. That bomber is going to be for XP farming. Well, I mean, there's multiple ways to do it depending on if you're in a group or not. And then you're just going to want to grab this essence. You're most likely not going to destroy the towers, and I don't actually recommend putting your champs up to fight like this when you're actually in a actual high level match. So now we have him there. He'll be great for XP farming later. And we're just going to back out. We're going to remake another bomber. And we're going to do the same thing with down here, basically. Yeah, you'll just inch your way forward all the way to there. Since I don't need to do that, I'm just going to have my guys rush, make it faster for the video, because this is going to be a bit longer of a video. Even if it is just a quick one. Okay, so now we've made it to this room. I really like to haul my units over here right quick and position my guys. So I'll come over here and I'll go like this. I'll stack him up. Stack him up. I'll get my two medics for this tank and I'll put them right there. Normally you're on slower, so you'll have a lot more time. And then I like to go like this. We'll just back in like this, a little at a time. Now, we're here. We're going to wait one wave. Normally I'll throw down an X for the incoming side wave. And then what we do is we throw one guy there, and we push these guys forward just enough that they're only tanking like one spore, like maybe over here, so that these guys can kill the enemies before they get to the spores, and then we'll just advance like this. You're going to have some difficulties as you do this. Now for this part, I like to actually bring in a sniper. Normally it's Terminator, but I like to do this. I like to these guys like this, and I'll go and I'll grab my Terminator, or not, or, yeah, Terminator, Exterminator, they both work, but we'll grab a Terminator since I said that I do. So here you go, here's our Terminator, he's on our way. I like to get him up here. So once he's here, normally I have him snipe the pool that's right here. Then I'll leave him sat there, and I'll wait for the wave to happen. Here's the wave. And as soon as the wave's almost done, like it's got like one unit left, I go like this, and I run in, and he grabs the essence, and then either dies or runs out. Now, if you're a multiplayer, you might want to leave a bomber here too to help with XP farm for your team, but I don't do that in my solo. There we go. So now, with all this done, this is your time to farm. I like to have 2 farms set up. So what I'll do is I'll set a medic, and I'll put it there. Shout out to Q for showing me this strat one day, and then farm. At this point, you'd be advancing your units to their highest tier. So we'll do that just for the sake of the video. There we go. To show you how this works, you just put your guys next to the units that are farming the XP, like this, and there you go. They've got their XP, they come back, they get ascended to the highest tier, and then you level them to the highest level you can go. So level 10. Keep in mind, you're going to want to make sure that all your units, if you're pushing a high difficulty that you're struggling with, are level 10 before you leave the base and are merge 5 or 6, depending on what you have unlocked. All right. So we'll say that I'm going to pretend that all these are M5 units and they're all the top tier. I like to go with having 4 snipers, 6 bombers, 8 medics, and however many tanks I can get. Now, this is going to vary depending on your difficulty, but I recently did 501, and this is what I did. So, anyways, now that you have your units built, you're going to shut down your farms, and you're going to come up to the top. Oh, auto merge. Okay, pretend he's actually 2. So you have 2 bombers here, okay? Not just 1. And you're just gonna inch forward like everywhere else, 1 step at a time. You might have to throw down a thing to slow it down. You might have to cast divine, so you want to make sure you're on a slower speed, and you're just gonna inch forward. The thing. It's not gonna be like this. You're gonna want to keep your tanks in front, but there's just no need for me to do it, or this video will be a lot longer than it needs to be. So you're gonna clear this area and this area. This area, dude. Okay. So now now you've gotten to this part. Congratulations. But that was the easy part so far. Now it's going to be the tough part. So I like to send up a sniper. I have my 2 bombers, of course. Now, we're going to work our way out of this room. We're going to do it slowly. Making sure the waves come in. Now, what we're going to want to do is going to want to position our tanks right here. Our bomber's a little bit behind them. Oh, they died. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a sniper to peek in, take out a tower, come out, peek in, take out a tower, come out. And as we're destroying more towers, we're going to slowly move these units up, peek in through there. This is where the tough part gets, because normally you'd have the minis to contest with, and you'll want to keep your bombers out of the range. Normally, if their minis are attacking them there, you can have your sniper here sniping them off, and you might even have your eradicators able to hit them. So then you're just going to continue the process. Yeah, okay, so there is a mini, but he instantly died. Yeah. And when you get actually into this part, what you can do is keep your tanks as low as they can and get your bombers more up. Now, you can also do the strategy where you'll put your tanks there, and while the towers are actually attacking your tanks, you can move your bombers in and just hit them like this and then back them out when the pool pops. But yeah, that's basically how you do this hallway so far. So let's just get through it. Okay. So now you got to this part. You're set up. You were ready to push it. So I always use sniper to destroy this pool because a lot of people lose tanks to that pool popping. And you're just going to get these guys there and peek in a little bit. There you are. And now that the tower that's there is dead, I'm going to put one behind. Oh, the tank decided he didn't want to move. And there we go. We're going to push like that. Now I'm going to wrap him around here in between the waves. He's going to snipe that tower off. We're going to push forward a bit more. We'll take out the mini bosses slowly, of course, making sure that you keep your important units out of the range of their fire and you burn them down effectively. Now, we have another pool. I like to post up here, go like this. Now, for this one, I like to go here. I like to position like this. I like to put my sniper right there to kill the first one. Peeking around. Normally these things will take a while to die, but yeah. So now we're getting to the absolute hardest part of the entire run. Now we're going to push ourselves in. Just a little at a time. No rush. We're going to start moving our bombers down here. We're going to have one tank have 3 medics on it. And he's going to just start inching up. And then they're going to start getting hit by these. You only want to tank about 1 or 2 towers depending on the difficulty. Now, if you're strong for the difficulty you're doing, of course, you can do more. Well, we're assuming that you're pushing a high difficulty, something really hard. And you're just gonna slowly work your way in and clear the towers as you go. Alright, so you cleared out the towers that are here. All the ones that can hit you from there. Be careful, the Hydra's going into this room. Right, make sure you're on slow. And be ready with your divines. The Hydras that build up here can be very dangerous, and they can end your entire run if you're not careful. I like to come out a little ways, just about here. Have these guys there. Put my bombers right here, and just start to work my way up. If there's a big wave coming, I like to throw down the bomber's thing to slow it down, but of course we don't need that. Not in this run. So we're just going to inch forward, taking out a few towers. Now, make sure that if you do take a lot of damage, you don't fully haul all your units back, because that could cost you the thing. You want to back up just enough that the towers on taking it and don't go into your DPS, because these guys will all die really fast. We're just going to inch forward. Just like that. Now, it is important to remember this guide is extremely simplified, and your runs will probably not go anywhere near this smooth. You're going to probably use units. You need to make sure you have extra built. You're going to want to play on a slower speed if you're struggling. If you're not struggling, you don't need to worry about it. But here we go. So then you're going to have the last room here. If you've lost a lot of things, you can actually put a bomber up here and tank that. Just do the bomber. Just have the bomber there, have like a tank here, and bring units to level up right around here. Pretty easy. But now going to the last room, everyone has different strategies for this. So when I did my 501, I lost a lot of stuff here in both this area and this one. So it's important to have your medics going. You want to be up here. So I actually sacrificed a few tanks here. What I did was I did this strategy. I put that there. I put one right there. And I went like this. I grabbed those guys and I just hauled them out. And from there, we were pretty much out of stuff in my run by the time I actually accomplished that. So then we had to inch ourselves forward. I was unfortunate that I actually went down to only having one tank right here. And it wasn't very good. Thankfully, I had pretty much all of this cleared. So I was able to actually post out with my two bombers behind my one tank. But for you, you'll be pushing in like this most likely. If one bomber can handle the wave, you can put him back like this. You'll take care of anything that's coming up from there. Just inch yourself forward enough, making sure that you don't over push. Now, you got to this part. Congratulations, you are in the final room. There are multiple strategies to do this. So I like to slowly, in between waves, snipe off some of these towers. Okay, I got these towers sniped off. Now, so you're playing on slow. The wave's coming to an end. What we want to do is you want to do that. Shift D. These towers can't hit you. Run down, clone, run back up, and have your bomber take it. Once this pops, I know everything died instantly. You want your bomber to try to run back as fast as they can. Okay. So you're to that part. Now, I like to wait till the next wave. It comes up. I like to then run, snipe one tower, come back. I'll move my units a little more forward at this point, angling them a little better like this. It gives my sniper more time to run out. Then I snipe another tower. Wait in between the waves. Then I'll snipe another tower. And another one. Now, once you have about half of them gone like this, I like to do the method where I put my sniper down here. And I'll wait towards the wave to be gone. Wave's gone. And I'll snipe the bottom tower and I'll run back. Now, we have this room pretty cleared. We're going to wait till after the wave. We're going to coast down. And we're just going to drop him there. You want to make sure your time is perfect, and you want to make sure that you don't forget that bottom tower like I just did. And make sure this guy's completely in the corner. If things are coming to kill your snipers, just kill one more of these. And you should be pretty good, because then they'll start going up like this. But you can also move your bomber here to help with this one too now. And then once the thing's popped, you're going to want to move them back. All right. Do yourself a favor and snipe off the rest of these towers. Just to give yourself more room to breathe. Always make sure you're running back and forth to the thing. Unfortunately, I can't time it that well because I kill things too fast. So I can't. Normally, I'll be attacking and I'll shift back to there. Or shift right click. From there, you have two different methods. You can either snipe your way through this side, or you can have your bomber there and you can slowly inch yourself forward and open up this part. For the sake of the video, I'm just going to full send it. If you do this method and you clear all the towers here, then you have the easier time. It's going to be less time consuming overall, but it is a lot riskier. And then you can just run up here, say that tower's destroyed because it's supposed to have been. But I was lazy and I didn't want to wait. And then you can snipe these towers off as you want. You can also use bait to come around so you can snipe this one off from that side. But I find that it can be actually very detrimental. And there you go. You got a primal. So, like I said, there's a few different patterns. You can use the sniper here to snipe these towers off, pick off this pool, and then just work your way down so that your tanks here can push in. It's a lot more time consuming because you still want your tanks to take the two that are going to be here, 2 or 3. Or you can take a lower level tank and you can just run them around. You can also do this for the entire way except for these 2 pools. But it's just really hard, and the extra DR does cause you a lot of issues. Now, with that, we're just going to talk about the basic things. So if you've got everything you wanted out of this video, congratulations. You did it. I hope you learned something, and thank you for watching. Now, if you didn't and you're like, how did he do all these things? How did he get these units to higher tiers and that? Well, I'll show you. So you start with the 4 basic types of units: bombers, defenders, snipers, and medics. All of them have different relics that work well with them, and some have relics. Well, they all have exclusive relics. For example, Harmony and Experimental only work for the medic. These two only work for the defender. I kind of wish these two and these two were swapped, so it actually went in order like this, but it doesn't. BB, fix that. I'm joking. You don't need to fix that. But anyways, so these are for the defenders, these are for the snipers, and these are for your bombers. Now, everything else can go in anywhere. Prosperity is one good for income, but if you're doing a solo build, you're going to want protection. It's very powerful. It's the best relic in the game, in my opinion. And yeah, you're going to want it. But anyways, back to the thing. So you've now summoned your bomber. If you want to ascend it, you're going to want to either press F, depending on your key layout, and if it's not, it's whatever key's here in the top of this. This will ascend your unit. So now that we've ascended a unit, you can see that there's a 3 here. He's only merged 3, but we want to get him to merge 5. So what we're going to need is we're going to need a few more of him. There we go. We've now ascended 4 grenaders. Now we can just click D and click on him. There you go. He's now merged 4. But it gets tiring to do it all manually. So if you select them all and you right click, you can turn on auto merge. Now it's important to not rely 100% on auto merge because it can merge things you don't want merged. So make sure you use this cautiously and let your experience show you where you are. But now we have a grenader. Perfect. As all things shall be. Now we're going to go into all the units. Go. Bomber, medic, defender, and sniper. Now we're going to talk about all the units things. So snipers have the snipe ability. It pierces through armor at Annie, which is the highest one, which is tier 4. She snipes through all of it pretty easily. And if you're wondering, tier 4, this is tier 0, T1, T2, T3, and then there's the T4, which these guys are T4, these guys are T4, these guys are T4, and these guys are T4. I didn't show the Annie in this one. My bad. It is what it is. So, snipe ability, it's amazing. It pierces through 95% of their armor. You have no problem just shredding things. Then everyone knows pretty much what the stim pack is. It's like it says, you lose some health, but you get attack and movement speed. Clone here. Clone's very good for if you want to back up. So you're taking a lot of damage, you just clone, back up. The clone takes the damage in your place, basically, because they'll target it. And then you have Ring of Fire. I never use Ring of Fire. I don't think it's that useful, but it can be. So it's just a ring of damage. Easy. You have your defender. He's got a shield. The shield, of course, helps him to survive. You have the tank charge to help you get through units. You have the taunt, which always keeps us on automatic, basically, unless your taunts are synced, and then you want to deal with that. I'm not very good when it comes to that kind of thing, but there's a lot more experienced players, I can tell you. Then you have your reflect. this is the main reason you want to tank. It's for destroying things on the high ground. It's great. It's amazing. Reflect is perfect. Okay, no problem. You have your bomb, you have your cluster bombs. You probably won't use them very often. Then you have this independent charge is that thing I use to slows down enemies, their attack speed, and their movement speed. It lasts for 5 seconds. Really good. It adds a multi bomb. Great. It's an automatic ability. Just helps you with more damage, hit more people. Then enfrazzlement makes everyone die faster. Perfect. Medic, you have your heal. It's pretty much on all the time. You have plague. You never want to use this because it's really laggy. You have phase shift, which allows a unit to move through others. Look at it. And then divine shield. If your unit's going to die, just quickly cast it on them before they die. And if they die, then they'll have full health again. Easy's no problem. Yeah, like here's the relic system, the paragon system. It's all stuff that I encourage you to play with. You have reroll points that you can play with. Yeah, but that's just a basic clear guide. I know this is supposed to be just a quick thing, but it took me this long to get through it. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Uh, check a VB's thing. He does hard work. If you like the game a lot, donate him a coffee. He's a great guy. Make fun of Snug and request unreasonable updates. That's all I have to say. Goodbye.